but the hope is coming from neuroscience, where researchers have come up with this term neuroplasticity that I'm sure most of you are very familiar with. What we see up here is basically an animation of the brain from the inside. It has 100 billion of those balls here called neurons. They're connected with synapses, 5,000 synapses on each neuron, so it's a massive, massive network up there. And what they have found is that this network is actually changing, and it's changing every second of our lives, which is really cool because it's changing according to how we use it. Meaning for every moment in your life that you are not paying attention, for every moment that you are having a wandering mind, or allow yourself to be distracted, you're creating a neural network that by default is more wandering and more distracted. And in the same way, for every moment that you actually pay attention, whether it's to golf or to your partner or whether it's to work, doesn't matter. Every moment you pay attention, you are strengthening that network of attention. Does that make sense? What do you think about that? Sounds great, doesn't it? It actually also means that we can train our ability to be kind. We can train our ability to be patient, to be tolerant. Anything, any quality that you would like to have, you can actually train by being that quality. So neuroplasticity is a really, really sweet thing. And specifically in terms of mindfulness, it's really sweet because it's basically showing us that through mindfulness training, we can learn to counter the paid reality and attention deficit trait by starting to focusing our mind a little bit more. So with a short definition of mindfulness, very short, very superficial, it's about learning to manage our mind, to have our task at hand in mind at our choice, and leaving out all those distractions that are just, confusing us and taking down engagement, taking down effectiveness, taking up stress, taking down sleep quality, and so on. Having the ability to focus on what we want to focus on. Or to put it in a more simple way, it's like going to the gym just with a mind. Mindfulness training is really like a mental gym. When you go to the gym and you lift a weight, you get a little bit stronger, right? When you sit down, you focus your mind for a while, you get a little bit stronger. It's exactly the same thing. And the more we do it, the less attention deficit trait, and we can actually thrive in the paid reality. How many of you have a mindfulness practice already? A few of you. Great. Okay. So what I'll do now is I will give all of you just a very brief introduction to how do you do mindfulness so you can go home and do it. And it seems like all of you have got the book. In the book, there's a much longer description than what I can give now, and there's also a link to a free app at the back of the book. You can download that, and then you can go home and you can start practicing using this app, which is a great help. But I'll just give you the instructions very briefly. First step is A, standing for anatomy. It's about sitting comfortably. In a moment, I'll guide you into that, and we'll do a 5-minute practice. The B stands for breath. So breath is the anchor of our attention in mindfulness practice. Just like when you go to the gym, you have the weight, you lift it. In mindfulness practice, it's the breath. Focus on the breath. I'm going to guide you into that. Next step is the C, standing for counting. And counting is a really great aid to help the attention to stay on track with the breath. And the way that I'll be asking you to count in a moment is that you're breathing in, you're breathing out, and then count a little succinct 1. You're breathing in, out, 2. In, out, 3. Count up to 10. When you reach 10, count backwards down to 10, or to 0, I mean. If you lose your count, just start at 1 again. If you find yourself at 37, you were just on autopilot, and that may happen, go back to 1 again. Many of you will find that you don't get further than 4 or 7. Totally normal. No worries. It's a practice. It's not about being perfect. The last point is the D for distractions. And the distractions are really our big helping friends in mindfulness practice. Distractions is anything that is not the breath. So it's all the sounds in here. Those are distractions. It's all the thoughts in there. It's all the bodily sensations. And all of those are basically small friends reminding you, hey pal, you're off track. You're supposed to be with the breath. Get back there. So every time you find yourself distracted, whatever the distraction is, just with a bit of gratitude say, hey, thank you, distraction. And then gently move your attention back to the breath again. Got it? Great.